Do roll call for everything? Right?
Yeah.
Is that what we have
Ready to do it.
Okay, perfect.
So, it is now, I can't even see it,
7:03.
12,
7:03.
7:03. All right. I want to announce that this meeting is being conducted remotely, and that all votes taken during this meeting will be by a roll call vote. Members of the board, commission, or committee who are participating remotely must affirm that they are alone, and to advise if anyone else is listening in on their line from their location. The meeting will be suspended on a temporary basis if the members participating remotely are disconnected for any reason, and will resume after the member is reconnected. In the case of a public hearing where state or local law allows public participation, this is not happening, it's different. The applicant, any parties in interest, and the public shall be permitted to participate remotely, but this is not. Request that everybody turn off their mute buttons. Announce that all documents referred to the meeting will be available on the website, town website. It is. Announce that if the event, the chair, if the one expresses any reason for disruption and cause a person during the meeting, the chair may silence that person. Announce that a transcript or recording of the meeting or hearing will be prepared and filed with the town clerk as soon as practical after the close of the meeting or hearing. And I am also announcing that we are being recorded by Marshfield Media. And on that note, I call to order and we need a roll call. So I'll start it off. Jack Griffin, present.
Bonnie McCarthy, present.
Linda Walsh, present.
Dean?
Dean Scribner present through.
Thank you. At this
Oh,
time,
Jack,
yeah,
can you do me a favor? Lower your screen a little bit, right? Like so I can see you. I'm looking at the ceiling.
okay,
Now turn it around so I can see everyone else.
okay.
So I'll see everybody.
This is it.
There you go.
That's what we got right now.
Mike DeMeo's coming.
Mike DeMay was supposed to be coming.
He just walked in.
Oh, okay.
He'll be right back.
Because he's up first.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh.
He just
Okay.
walked in.
Yes, and just put it, yeah, that's what you do. Can you put it on the person
I
speaking?
can't hear him now.
Hey,
Put it on what?
That's-
the person who's speaking at the time.
Yep, we got it.
Thank you.
You'll see Mike in a minute. He's coming around.
Hey,
Dean wanted to say hello.
I apologize, I really, I had the waterways, 6 to 7. So. How are you doing?
Mike, you're up first.
Okay.
We're gonna go through just one thing. All right, we need to accept the prior minutes. Linda sent them to me, I reviewed them, they look fine by me. I know that she then sent them out to you guys. Any changes in the minutes?
They look good to me.
And Linda, what were the dates on those minutes?
It was,
You emailed me.
February 11th
I
and
think
January 28th.
It's in the email.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I make a motion to accept the minutes of January 11th and February 28th. Jack Griffin, yes.
Yeah, the opposite, I think, was January 28th and February 11th.
Yes.
January 28th, February 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Griffin, yes.
Bonnie McCarthy, yes.
Linda Walsh, yes.
Dean,
Dean Scribner, yes.
thank you.
Dean Scribner, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are here to look at the harbor master, Mr. DeMayo's capital budget request.
Well, thank you for having
The
me.
floor is yours.
You guys have a copy of my 5-year capital outlay, or you have it all?
Is this?
Yeah.
I think we received 2, so I
I
would.
got a few other copies if you need it.
I'll
Oh,
take
may I
one.
take- oh, yeah.
There's one.
I'll pass it down for now.
Thank you.
I can spare one more if somebody needs it. Dean, you want a copy? Dean?
Yeah.
You guys have it?
Those in front of me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright. So the first one is the Army Corps Green Harbor Jetty project, and that was tonight's Waterways meeting we were talking about discussing, and I have some PowerPoints I can share as well. This project started probably back in 2018-19, and I have a letter from the prior town administrator to the Army Corps for the Section 107 study with the Army Corps for Green Harbor. As you know, Green Harbor is one of the top 4 ports in the Commonwealth for Atlantic bluefin tuna and American lobsters for exports and international exports. It's a vital harbor that needs to be dredged the whole time and clear, but however, the jetties are misaligned, and that's one of the phases of study that is being discussed. So we've already completed the initial phase of study, which is the Army Corps 216 studies. It's all the Army Corps jargon, which I'm gonna talk about. So you completed the initial phase of study, which is the study 216 study, I'm sorry. The next phase is the section 107 study. So after you had the credibility to move on to the next stage, which is the section 107, then you move into the construction once you pick a design. Currently, right now, under the new regulations, that project is capped at $15 million, in which the town would be responsible for 10%. Under the 216, there was a 50-50 share, which the town kicked in $250 probably 2 town meetings ago. That's been exhausted. I did get $450 at the last April town meeting. Those funds are gonna be drawn down this July 1st through the treasurer's office. That's in motion. However, we're still gonna be short another $450 for, at least for that project. It could be up to $1 million, up to $1.5 million if we do go to the $15 million threshold. But that's all hinged upon if we extend the East Jetty 300 feet with associated dredging. However, that decision hasn't been made yet. So I do intend to submit a grant for over $1 million to the seaport. Currently, the town is MBTA compliant as we speak today. So I will submit a grant for at least $1 million to offset the town's cost for that project. If we're successful, we would only need 20% match of the $1 million, which is obviously $200,000, leaving us to $450 that we currently have in the coffers, which will be borrowed in July 1st of this year. I'm working with the town treasurer. Any questions on that? That's the big one. Like I said, this project's been in the works for 8 years.
And then, once that's done, I see there's nothing projected out 5 years, it's done for
No.
years, right?
Yeah, so obviously, the jetties have been misaligned since 1969. There was a 1988 study for the jetties and the sand blowing over the west jetty. Those are part of the current study, which is in there. It's about this thick. I do plan to get all these documents online. And I will share the Army Corps survey, Army Corps PowerPoint that we just discussed today. These are the prior ones.
And isn't it if the jetties are aligned, if they're fixed, there'll be less dredging that has to take place?
Yeah, so
less
that was
cost.
tonight's discussion where if the jetties were aligned, it would lessen the need for dredging up to 51 months. Some say a little less based on the model that they ran. They ran the model out for 3, 4, 5 years. But basically, as you guys know, most of you guys live in Green Harbor, in the northeast storms, all the refraction comes off the west jetty and pulls into the Narrows, which is where the choke point is to the channel. Currently, the Green Harbor entrance channel has a controlling depth of 8 feet. So you're authorized to dredge to 8 feet. The Green Harbor jetties are the #1 dredge. Green Harbor is the #1 dredge port in all of New England. That's not.
Is it really?
Yes, which is going to be #1, but not in dredging. So part of the study is, rather than going to 8 feet mean low water, they would go to 12 feet, 10, 12, or 14 feet. So the deeper the channel, you get more tidal exchange flowing in and out of the harbor, and that would lessen the chances of having to dredge every 1-2
Maintenance.
years. Also with that, the town did some dredging this fall on the North Pier. The whole entire harbor was dredged under the Army Corps 2 years ago, which was 60,000 cubic yards. Some of that is already back in the harbor, and both Taylor and Green Harbor Marina both dredged last year, about 7,000 cubic yards each. So the tidal exchange is getting better, but the main issue is the jetties and the depth at the choke point of the Narrows. So with the section 107 recommending the jetty extension, if we can afford it, up to the $50 million cap, because that's the threshold. The town's gonna hook for 10%, so, which I think is a good deal. Nothing's been done since 1969 to these jetties. I can share you all the dredge histories from the 60s and 70s to current. Essentially, it comes to an estimate of, an average of 21,000 cubic yards that are dredged every year out of Green Harbor. That's the estimate every year. So it's a lot of material. The good news is that material is suitable for beach nourishment, but the problem is, what's the cost of putting it somewhere, and where does it go secondarily? Personally, I think it should go for Exham Beach, but it gets into coastal zone management and gets into all the other regulatory folks. We do have a near shore site off of Green Harbor Beach, close to Duxbury Line, which you can go there, but the problem is that site is at capacity. So you keep putting sand a quarter mile in the ocean, and then boats are hitting it, so.
So it can go directly from being dredged to the site in Marshfield, just,
It
Doesn't need to
it
be
can,
treated.
if the near shore site has the capacity to put it there.
like the old days.
Yeah, exactly, but if you keep putting it there, then the water's
Helps it.
really shallow. But the Army Corps comes in, they do survey that as well, because they know how much, the calculation of material that sits there. And because that technically what's supposed to happen with the nearshore side is the wave energy is supposed to push it up on the beach. But I feel it's too far offshore, and it doesn't quite make it to the beach. So it kind of sits there. That's the Green Harbor, section 107 study, so that's the match.
Mike,
Another
that's-
towns in the deficit. Yeah, Jeff?
So the 450 that you're looking for,
Yeah.
you have
Currently
in
have
plans
450.
two $1 million grants.
I plan to submit for
Two.
at least 1 million.
Okay, so out of that 1 million, is the match 200,000?
It's typically 20%, Seaport grants are 20% match. So, yep.
And your money that you have for dredging now, that's left over, is only good till July.
No, the 450 that was allocated at the last April town meeting, 450 was allocated, that's a portion of the 10% match that we have.
That's a portion of the 10% match?
Yep, that's a portion of, so we're pretty much a third of the way there, what we need for the 10% match,
Okay,
so.
okay.
But however, if we were successful with grants, probably the only thing we need is to obligate the 200,000. But that's up to $15 million. But say the project came in, say that the Army Corps, and the town has a say in this too, what gets done, if we can afford it, right? It's not just the Army Corps, like we have buy-in to what happens. But say the jetty project comes in at an estimate of $20 million, we obviously can't do that. So then it would be reduced to just the dredging. The dredging alone is not gonna cost $15 million. So that number on the town side comes down as well, and that may be 8 million, could be 10 million, could be 5 million. So it'd be 10% of $5 million potentially. But the max cap under the Army Corps for these type projects is $15 million.
We have the full, okay.
So, but it's, I know it's a little long-winded, but there's a bunch of information on this, but this project's been going for over 8 years. And we are light years ahead of many communities to get to this stage. So,
Busy pier area.
Okay,
obviously, all this supports the fleet, obviously.
anybody have any additional questions?
So Mike, is this jetty gonna be curved away from the east coming winds? I heard that once, that they were gonna curve it. So
No.
that the sand wouldn't come directly in?
No, it basically comes out right to the south, and it would align with the west jetty. So, because most of the refraction comes off in the northeast storms. The problem is the west jetty is longer than the east jetty, so all that material and energy hits the west jetty, and then it refracts into the narrows, which pushes everything in. Rather than having the wind and seas go right by the jetty, and it would actually probably benefit Green Harbor Beach, because all that energy of sand that in the littoral effect and the where the sand moves would push up onto Green Harbor Beach rather than into the channel actually. So it would actually probably benefit Green Harbor Beach, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense, okay.
So-
That makes sense.
Punching
Yeah.
beaches would be amazing.
And it also
Okay, that's what I was.
add a lot more protection too, so,
Anybody else have any additional questions on
yeah.
the jetty
If
project?
anybody has any questions, I can share the PowerPoints or emails, all the documentation.
We're fortunate, we watch it every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
10 times a day, every
Yeah,
piece of this project.
I mean, I don't think you
For
really
10
need to
years.
you don't need to really be an engineer to see what actually happens,
Yeah.
maybe for the technical stuff, but, you know, you can sit there and watch what happens down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So,
we do have that benefit.
All right.
No, thank you for all the
Yep.
information.
Thank you.
You got additional items, Mike?
Yeah, so, I know this is a big ask, just with the town's finances, but, I didn't wanna remove it, cause if it goes away, then it may not get back on there. I think we could punt it a little bit down the road, since we have the current 450, and we're not ready to go construction just yet, so I think we got a little time on this, plus it gives me more time to do my due diligence to find the money elsewhere, so that's all I'll say about that. The second thing I had was, the installation of a new weather station on the harbor master building. We had one, the racer took it down a couple years ago. Everybody wasn't that fancy of a weather station. I was looking to create a better weather station, so people have better access to the data and technology. So when they come to Green Harbor, they can just go online or an app and look at the information. We do have a smaller Davis weather station that's on one of the utility poles. It's just an off-the-shelf thing. It does work, it's not accurate all the time, but I tried to have the National Weather Service pay for it, and then, they had less money than we did. But, that was the ask for that, to put a better antenna up there, and that way people had better information to weather and make better decisions before going out boating when you come to Marshfield from outside of town or wherever. Or the fishermen could log right into it and see real-time data.
Would
the
it be-
weather
Is it
station.
the location that it's at risk for,
It's just
Being
very
destroyed again,
windy,
so
yeah, it's up there.
how long do you think, how long did the last one?
It lasted a couple of years, but like I said, it was off-the-shelf one. The anemometer really was in great quality. It blew off in the northeast wind gusts of 83 miles an hour. That was tracked on the machine. That's why I kinda wanted the National Weather Service to pick up the freight, to give them access to weather in Green
Yeah.
Harbor. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think it's pretty important, because we get clobbered in storms. So that was the request for that. The other one was
I
the
think
Green,
it would last 5 years, was that,
Yeah.
That one's below 25,000.
20,
Yeah.
below, yeah, 24,750.
It's right on the borderline of $250 more,
Find
Mike.
some
I don't- I-
screws to screw it in.
I don't think it's a huge money project to get something decent up there. I think,
This is probably the type of project we could afford right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
I-
thing.
like I said,
Yeah.
the-
And it would last
you guys have always
years.
been good to me. I've always done my due diligence, and I'm a team player, I get the town's finances, but I'm not gonna sit here and cry, but it is what it is.
What about something like
Just,
UMass Boston?
just an FYI, I sat down
Yeah.
with the town administrators, both of them, a couple of weeks ago, and at that point in time, the only money that capital budget's going to have
Yep.
is projects that have been closed,
Yep.
and finally gonna get to capital project fund, and they're estimating between 600,000 and 800,000, that's all we're gonna have.
Yep.
So,
Wow. So-
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so-
Now, if there's a miracle later, I'll let you know, but right
No,
now,
I get
that's
it,
what I'm
I
hearing.
get it, but, I did have one of my first capital budget meeting, my operational budget meetings with, Charlie and, HR, and,
Mhm.
like I said, we did dredge Green Harbor this fall at the North Pier, 'cause it was shoaled in, and that was, under contract, that was $78,500.
Yeah.
And that was money left over from the 23-24 dredge project. And after we pay the last bill, I should be giving back to the town like at least $50,000 and closing that project out. So that money's coming back to the town.
Another
So-
one.
Did
So,
you-
and I'm looking at other projects that we've closed out, probably not as much as that money, but I'm trying to close out projects to give back that we don't need.
Just, real quick,
Yeah.
on the Green Harbor Jetty project,
Yeah.
I think we have like a $15 million or close to that type of project. They're re-engineering is looking to redo that whole thing. And will that
Oh,
have
the
any?
dike?
The dike, yeah, will that
So-
have any effect on
Yep.
the jetty project at all?
Yep. So all the information from the dike, all the weather gauges, tide gauges, were added into the Army Corps model of,
Okay.
current flow,
Did you have to,
everything.
you told me all about that
Everything
on the
was,
phone
they
call.
were given everything, and that actually saved us money by providing information, like we had permits for Green Harbor Beach for beach nourishment, for grain size analysis. So we'd have to pay the Army Corps to go out there and sample the beach. We already had the grain size analysis, so that's like in-kind services. So we were able to chip away and knock money down. Like little things like that, DBW was great, the superintendent, he provided a bunch of information, so, those were all in-kind services that we already had. Like, we had the dike study, it's a 115-page document that's on the town website about raising from Bryant Street down to Green Harbor Marina, raising the road so the dike doesn't overtopple. That was online, they looked at that information, all that adds into the model. All that makes sense. Like, it's scientific data that somebody can get a few nuggets out of, so.
Gotcha. Anything else?
The last thing,
There's one more.
the last thing I had was, the Green Harbor revetment wall. That's the wall that currently sits from the Green Harbor boat ramp around the Harbor Master Building. It's over 330 linear feet. This was tied into a Port Infrastructure Development grant through the feds, $7.1 million that I submitted twice and didn't get it. We're not gonna get that money. It was also tied into a new pier project. It was over $11 million pier project combined. It got into strong backing, the new seawalls back, but it's not gonna happen. There's no appetite for it. There's no money for that. But the revetment wall, if you walk the docks and look up, all the concrete revetment wall that was built in the 50s is just crumbling. I don't think it's gonna fall in tomorrow, but at some point, it needs to be at least shotcreted to hold it in place to buy another, maybe another 10, 15 years. Because to replace that wall, you're talking $5 to $7 million. Like, you're talking digging up half the parking lot, sheet piling, and strong backing it to another sheet pile wall in the middle, and like, into the parking lot with tie rods to hold a new wall in place. I have the plans for it, but that's when the money came back that there's no way we can afford it.
And
There's no way.
is the wooden walk around the pier affixed to that concrete, so that's,
It's
is
right,
that where
it's
it's
25 feet in from that.
Okay,
And like, there's been a big history of like, why is the wooden pier 25 feet off the revetment wall?
yeah,
And really the answer is, because that revetment wall sits on a trapezoid or a triangle, and it comes down, it goes into the parking lot 25 feet, and it comes into the water 25 feet. So the pilings are at the total slope of those rocks. That's why that's there, so it doesn't undermine the pier and the cap, which is the revetment wall. That's why that pier is where it's at.
So this goes around the Harbor Master Building? So that wasn't rebuilt when the building was
No, it wasn't.
built?
That part, the Harbor Master Building part's not bad. The worst part is like down by the boat ramp, that's the worst part. But if we're gonna shotcrete, we might as well just do it all. That just kinda locks it all in, and they have the ability to lock in the rocks as well. Like that whole pier plan, which is how they did walls back in the day, Situate has the same walls as well. And it was really all designed by hand, all hand sketched architects. It's pretty amazing how they did it. Like I said, it's not gonna fall in the harbor tomorrow, but it's something that we've kind of been monitoring to clean up, but, that's really all I had, if anybody has any questions.
well, thank you. Believe me, wish we had it for everything.
Yeah.
I feel the need to.
Mike, I know if there's a grant,
Operating.
you're the one to get it.
No, I'm gonna dive in.
I hear ya. When the town goes for grants on the seawalls,
Yeah.
is that something that could be applicable to this wall, because that's a seawall?
Technically, yeah, yep. It's infrastructure, yeah, it could, but having two shots at the Port Infrastructure Development Grant, which, you know, when you read through the notice of funding opportunity, which is like this thick, they were supposed to set aside $165 million for small ports. When the notice comes out of who got the money, the smaller ports really didn't get a lot of money. So have a little heartache with that, and it takes like 60 days to write the grants for that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you said we were number 3 in
Number
what,
4.
Massachusetts? Number 4
4,
Massachusetts?
Sometimes we're number 1 for tuna fish in years. Sometimes we have more exports in tuna fish than Gloucester.
Wow.
And that's why we do get a lot of dredge money, because the guys do work hard and they bring a lot of fish in. But the thing is, like, like, that channel is their Route 95 to go to work and come and go. And the problem is that they can't get in or out, now they're sitting out front of the harbor waiting for the tide to come in before they go aground, right? And now the catch is sitting on the boat, now they're out there in crappy weather, which we lost 7 fishermen this winter already, 2 in Provincetown 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and 5 in Gloucester, so
Yeah.
we don't have bigger boats like that, but they're in the same elements as smaller boats. So they kinda have, they need to be able to come in the harbor 24/7. Same as public safety, like if we can't get out of the harbor, if we can't get in the harbor, it's not good,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And what's the status of the channel right now with all the, after this winter? Do you
We
know?
haven't seen it yet, but I know it's not great. We surveyed it last September as a baseline, and we requested to survey it again. So we keep surveying it so we know what the volume is, and that actually adds to the study. So we can kind of calculate how much sand is coming in. But on average, it's 21,000 cubic yards.
Did you have enough data?
And that's including the storms too.
Yep.
So, but,
And the
It's-
beach nourishment,
Yep.
some of that sand
right. Well,
went in.
Thank
that's
you.
all I really had.
That's
Yeah.
good, I appreciate everything,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yes.
Or the group, so if the revetment wall is really, it's hanging in there, but it's a $5 million project, does that
The
ever?
revetment wall is a $650,000
Okay,
project.
how does that go in and there's a plan and then in year 5? So what I'm hearing is you're talking about this and we can't do it this year.
Right.
But is it in and there is a set aside or some plan, a long-term, because I understand that you all plan for 5 years, which seems a little light for capital investments. But I'm trying to understand, when does that go in so that it eventually would get addressed
Right.
before it turns into a crisis? How does that go into a long-range plan?
It'd be
When
repeated
the
next
money's
year.
available.
So-
The request would be repeated next year.
Yeah.
But there's really no set-aside long-term plan to do it.
It's,
You have to have the
it's-
money.
Is that the concrete?
Because my, I'll defer to you.
He has his plan in place.
No,
It's
I
been
don't
there
know
for
about
8
those
years,
anymore. This
and
is-
he's got
Yeah.
$450,000
That's the
last year.
Yeah.
But this year, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just not
So
funded.
next year, he'll come back with the same thing and ask us again,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll be able to fill it. But it's one of those projects that
You see what I'm
if
saying?
we don't have the money, we can't do anything with it.
Well, like it's a plan, an unfunded plan until it's funded.
Yeah, it's not
It's
like
the
Bill
best way to,
said.
I would think in layman's terms. Great plan, but,
Yeah. And that's kinda how it looks.
yeah,
And I can email those pictures to you as
I'm
well.
down there so much, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen.
But that's, eventually.
It's like
this-
driving under the bridge at the Pembroke, Norwell Bridge on a boat, you look up and you wonder why you
I'm
drive
not
over
gonna
it in a
discuss that
car.
on camera, but.
That's, yeah,
That's scary.
Yeah.
that's the,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and these, like I said, it's not gonna fall in tomorrow, but I just wanna,
So we all know you have this, and you just come back every year and ask for
yeah.
600,000,
I'm not shy, but I try to, I'll set the best I can. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
I get it. you know?
So over time, though, the cost of replacing, redoing that
It's
work
going
is
up.
gonna go up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously, the priority should be that, to try to fill it as soon as it can be, because there's gonna be some cost
I
containment.
mean, it's kicking the can down the road a little
Yeah.
bit, but at least you maybe might get 5, 10, 15 more years out of it.
Yeah.
Like Green Harbor Marina just did it 2 years ago, and they were pretty successful, and there's many towns that do it, they actually do the tunnels the same way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to tear off that whole seawall cap and revetment in the parking lot, you're talking a 2-year project, which, with a busy fleet, it's a lot of work, and that was $11 million 2 years ago, so. And there's no way I'm walking to town meeting and asking for $7 million, there's no way. You know, no, I can't, that's why we pulled the whole project, so.
Definitely needed, just,
yeah.
oh.
I appreciate everything, Michael.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
If you guys, I'm pretty easy to find, email me or come down and visit. I haven't had many visitors all winter because it's been cold, but as soon as the Point Restaurant opens, everybody seems to come out of the
Yeah.
woodwork.
I'm down there far too often, believe me, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, on to the school. We are ready for you.
Sure. Good evening. I'm a little under the weather. My voice is-
I have a honey stick.
Thank you.
And Dr. Sullivan can't be with us because he's in a better place. He's in Ireland. So,
That's a,
yeah, so,
that's awesome.
Here, honey stick from Pornstar.
What's that?
Honey stick for the throat.
Oh, awesome, thank you. Appreciate it. Probably need it halfway through. So I just wanted to run down what we have on our list, yeah,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
So as you may have heard, we didn't receive any capital money last year, and we've, outside of the debt exclusions, we've had a limited amount of capital funding over the last few years, so obviously our list is fairly extensive, there's 12 projects on here. The first one is the Daniel Webster Elementary roof. Actually, I'll just give you a quick recap. This is, because we didn't receive any funding, it's essentially the same as last year. We did remove the Martinson roof, which is the debt exclusion project, that came in under bid, so.
I heard that.
So that's
So
a-
Did?
that's a
I
good
watched the
thing.
meeting.
Okay.
Potentially there's money coming back from that project, hopefully, as long as everything goes okay. So Martinson roof came off, the 5-year plan. We had a plan to add a parking lot at the high school, by the baseball field. We removed that, just other priority wise. We do have a minor project where we wanna reconfigure some of the parking there, but that's not on the capital plan. And there was a wood structure repair article that was the last remaining item from our 2015 capital assessment, which our capital plan had been based upon for several years, so. Those 3 items were removed, everything else remained. We did add 3 items, and I'll get to those in a minute, the Amesway doors, the high school HVAC, and the elementary bathrooms, so. Those are the only 3 new items from last year. The first item is the Daniel Webster roof, and this is approximately 1.85 million. However, there's a couple things going on with this. At the moment, Daniel Webster can be restored, that's why it says roof restoration, rather than a roof replacement, which is what Martinson was, and you know, Martinson came in around $7 million, so. This roof restoration at Daniel Webster is kind of the equivalent of putting a seal coating on your driveway, rather than rebuilding the whole roof, so, and it's approximately 1.85 million. The other good news on that front is it is now MSBA eligible, that process.
That's what I was wondering,
Yeah, so up until this year, the restoration wasn't reimbursable through the MSBA, but it is now. Because it's becoming, the cost of roofing, it's becoming a more
That makes more sense
popular,
for
it makes a
them.
lot more sense. You get extend the life of the roof at a fraction, relatively fraction of the
So
cost.
if we go through that repair, well, what would be our share of it?
I approximately 50%, 40 to 50%, in that range. So that 1.85 million becomes, you know, it's under $1 million, it's in the $900,000 range for us. The one key factor on this right now, we're talking about a 1 to 3 year time frame, probably a little, it was probably 1 to 3 years about a year ago, so it's probably 0 to 2 years for the full roof. But there is one part of the roof that is an immediate need, and Fred Russell, our facilities manager, got an estimate on that, and it's not noted on here, but it was approximately $145,000, so for the worst section of the building.
Oh, so not the 200, so 145?
Yeah, so that's what, yeah, so make a mental note that number one is, I mean, eventually it's 1.9, but immediate need,
Could be
145, yeah, 145.
145.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a $4.6 million for FY '27. Clearly, that's not feasible. And so, you know, as we went through this process, we did a due diligence on what was needed, and then we looked at ways to kind of ramp it up and, you know, break out the cost that hopefully some of this could be funded. So Daniel Webster immediate need is 145.
Okay.
And the 145 unfortunately would not be reimbursable because we haven't gone through the MSBA process yet. So we're trying to extend the life of that roof in order to do the roof restoration, put it in for the MSBA funding, you know, next year, year down the line. And then the total cost of the whole roof replacement at Dana Webster would cost Marshfield probably about $1 million.
What's
So,
the age of the roof that we currently have on the
Uh,
damaged stuff?
yeah, that's going back to the 80s.
The eighties?
Yeah, yeah.
I did say.
Yeah, I mean, roofs, roofs are a funny thing. It's, you know, there's the Martinson roof was obviously, was needed, and that roof was quote unquote younger than Dana Webster and Governor Winslow, which we're gonna talk about in a second too.
For some unforeseen reason, in my preparation, they were showing solar
Ton of
layout
the solar
plans.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand that part.
Well, no, so the estimates that we were using for the restoration
Yeah.
came from that. That's what would have been done with the solar panel.
If
There's
you
no
did-
plans
if
to
you-
put solar
If you
panels.
put the solar on there, but you got the plans from them, okay.
Yeah, that's
From
what
that-
they're, from
from
Tremco,
that
yes,
study.
yeah.
Instead of redoing this, a
Yeah.
different
Instead of
study.
redoing the whole study, we already have a
Like
study
it.
done, so
Right,
Right,
there
and you
was no,
saved
yeah,
money.
there was no point on asking.
Yeah.
So that's,
they already had it done.
that's why you see, and for Dana Webster and Governor Winslow, it may mention solar panels, there's no
There's no
solar
solar,
panels
yeah.
involved. It's just, that was what was going to be done to extend the life of the roof, in order to put the panels up. We need to do some roofs anyway, so,
But at least there's,
no panels.
yeah.
So that's the story of Daniel Webster. Governor Winslow, which is Governor Winslow roof, which is, I'm just gonna jump to that real quick, that's 3 years out. Almost the same scenario, about roughly the same cost. Governor Winslow's in a little better shape than Daniel Webster, so hopefully the plan, you know, what the plan here is to get into the MSB, you know, hopefully address the one portion of the Daniel Webster roof that's an immediate need, and then get into the MSBAQ, receive the reimbursement for Daniel Webster, and then a couple years down the line, receive
So the Governor Winslow could be pushed out a little bit.
yeah,
just
it's,
to
that
be-
was a 3 to
especially
5
when we
year,
are- Yeah.
so it's probably 2
5
to
7
2 to
now.
4.
Yeah,
well,
oh, yeah.
yeah, it's coming down. So, so that's,
Pushing it down the road.
that's the plan for our roofs. All our other roofs are in good shape, so this is the last of it for a while.
What about Salt River?
South River was replaced,
Yeah.
top of my head. Well, South River was interesting because we did a roof project there. It was probably, don't quote me on this, probably like 2014 or so. And then we had a big windstorm, I don't know if anybody got, we had a big wind and the whole thing kind of flew off.
Yeah.
So, and then it got replaced again. So I think that was like a large portion of the roof.
When-
2018-ish, so it's,
Okay.
that's 7
Good for a
7 years.
while.
When, let's forget the 145,000, go back to the 1.8 for a second. When they finish that work, what kind of guarantee do we have on, like, the
I think
roof we
that's-
just put up was, and Martinson was 20 years, what did they do with
I think this is 20,
20?
roughly 20 to 25 to extend the life.
Okay.
There's safeguards in place now, I know this came up a couple times, right?
Yeah.
With the snow removal, and no one is allowed on those roofs unless the person allowing them up
Yes.
there knows that they're not
We
gonna
did-
break any warranties
We
anymore,
did, we
right?
did do snow removal just
Yep,
this
that's
winter.
what I figured,
about
that's
that.
what I was
Yeah.
wondering how that went.
Yeah,
That's
and it went
great.
great, yeah, we used
Awesome.
Tremco, which is
Learn from
our online
mistakes.
roofing, our on-call roofing contractor.
Mhm.
And it was done all, you know, we did all our roofs, mainly around the drains, because we were really worried about
Yeah.
filtration of water and all that, so. And, you know, unfortunately, it was, you know, 5 figures, I don't know, it was Fred Russell manning it.
Yeah.
You know, it was low $10,000, somewhere in that range to get it done, but it was necessary.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
We had to
it
do it
didn't,
twice.
it didn't break a warranty and it
So,
was done properly, so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of snow, it was a lot of weight.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Yeah, so that, I mean, yeah, I think it's in the documents, I think it's 20, I think it says 20 to 25.
Okay.
But again, we're trying to avoid what happened with Martinson, so,
Right.
that's the goal right here, so. So that's the number one. Number two is the door, interior and mainly interior doors at Amesway. There's 4 exterior doors too. This came from public safety. We have annual inspections from police and fire. And Amesway was built in 1960, original wooden door. I mean,
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
probably to what's right here, but they're hollow and it's a safety issue. And you know, it was never on our plan before, but the police really highlighted it as a safety measure. So.
So, I'm sorry, so the exterior doors are wooden doors?
No, exterior metal doors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so the inside,
It's
interior.
40 interior wooden doors, cause that building was 1960, I mean,
Okay.
it had it shut down for a couple of years and then came right back, so, and then it had a little bit of work done, in the early 90s, but,
Yeah,
it's
I was
mainly
just-
the same building as, it's a 66-year-old
I
building
worked there
at
for a
this
couple
point.
of years, so, yeah, I'm fully aware of the doors.
Yeah.
And what do they replace them with, the wooden doors? Do they, the
Yeah,
interior doors?
it would be just a upper grade material, so,
Because it's still all the classroom doors.
Classroom doors,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Based,
Classroom doors and
You
there's a
still
lot,
need the glass and.
yeah, it would look like, if you go, those are
big
the only
glass in
doors.
middle.
yeah, those are the only doors that are an issue. All the other elementary schools are up to
Based-
date
Okay.
and safety wise.
based on the rules of the capital budget that I was informed to do this year, and it's the bylaw, the items themselves have to be over 25,000 each. So if it was a door, it would have to cost 25,000, and when you
That's up
get.
to interpretation, I think. I mean, I get what you're
That's
saying
the
with
rule.
computers. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, and we'll talk about that in a second, but
Yeah,
it's a door project.
yeah.
You're gonna break down,
You need to charge that.
we'll never get anything done if we're.
Jeez, let me get.
Yeah, I think there's a plug here. Yeah.
But, everything facilities wise.
But I, yeah, but we,
It would be
to
really,
Jeff's
really
point, though, we
difficult.
did bring that up with the DPW too.
No, yeah,
It's
I
just
understand,
across
I
the
understand.
board. Yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to
Yeah.
keep,
Regis.
So do you know how much the doors, they're obviously less than
Yeah,
25.
there's a quote here, I mean,
like installed.
yeah, it's all installed. It was actually, cost of anything related to construction is off the charts, as we all know. And, this was a quick estimate from Paul Williams.
Yep,
who
it's
does a lot of
plugged in.
work for us. I'm trying to find
You're
it.
good.
See it.
Ballpark 5.
Yeah, it's just a
door.
really quick, it's a quick and dirty estimate. Yeah, remove existing hollow core doors throughout the entire school and replace doors with solid core, 20-minute fire rated flush door.
Yeah,
And there's 40 existing doors.
so 128 divided by 40. Do you
Yeah.
hear the mathematician? It's 130,000 divided by 40.
Well, his estimate, labor and materials is basically 100,000. So 40, 100,000, like 20,
2,500.
2,500.
20,
Okay.
yeah.
That's my math.
What are you
Yeah.
saying, Dean?
We're all going with about 2,500 per door.
Yeah,
What's the
For
question?
100,000.
Was just per door, we were
Yeah.
just breaking down the
yeah,
figures, but
about
we think we
about
kinda covered it.
2,500,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
1,000 divided by 30, you said.
40.
How much is the money again? 300?
Can that go up a little higher?
128.
528,000?
No, 128.
Okay, there you go, that's what I heard. It's hard on that.
That's with a markup.
3,000 is 120,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
just stick
so we're
with
just, we're gonna
3,000.
go with about 3, yeah.
It's easy.
About 3,000,
Yeah.
$3,200 a door. That's probably the going rate for commercial.
All right.
yeah.
Okay,
So that's number two. Number three is technology. And, you know, we have a technology plan, and you can see it's broken out over 4 years. There's a lot there. Yeah, I watched a couple of your other meetings and, you know, talking about the technology, and I understand that completely. The issue with us on this front is if you really look at the breakdown there, a lot of it is a high school that is now 12 years old, going on 13 years old, that all the technology in the building was funded by the building project. And a lot of that stuff is coming due, and it's obviously not built into our operating budget, so this was one way we're trying to address it. We are slowly building and we're almost done, and unfortunately, I think this state of our operational budget is going to probably put a halt on this, and we're gonna have to kind of try to regroup, but we developed a Chromebook plan where students are getting a Chromebook in second grade. It's their Chromebook for 4 years through 5th grade, and then in 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, they have a Chromebook, and then in 9 through 12, they have a Chromebook, and that's a cycle, a replacement cycle, that we slowly built through a combination of trying to push up our operational budget, and we did get some capital funding a
Wasn't
few
there a
years
lot during
back.
COVID too? The
COVID,
ARPA
yeah.
funding? Cause I know I was in
was
Pembroke
it.
and pretty much our entire schools, all the computers
Yep.
were not
COVID funding.
funded,
We've
they were
been-
not funded by the town.
Yeah.
So this is an expense that wasn't, it's
Yeah,
not a.
yeah, so that we
it's
did,
not a
so the original Chromebook purchase
Cost.
was for the high school through the building project, so that's how we started. So that was 2014. We moved some Chromebooks down to the high school. You don't necessarily get a 3-4 year life, I mean, some of them are pretty beat up after 3 or 4 years with a student. But there are some students who we get them back and become loaners, and sometimes we can move those down to the second grade. And we did that for a little while. COVID, we did, yeah, so that was like, you know, that's one, we made a conscious effort not to use any of that funding for operational. That was, the only slight thing would have been the Chromebooks. But it was an immediate need, and that's when we went to the elementary. So now we have an elementary Chromebook cycle, and we've been slowly ramping up our technology budget to try to address that. So
But I
that's
think-
not even on here. We have a K and 1 on here because those are our really beat down ones that have filtered down from the upper grades.
But I guess across the board, if we're starting to do every single, and this is just me thinking outside the box, every single department in every town, a functioning municipality, needs computers.
Yeah.
Mike needs a computer,
Yeah.
I'm just, so then is the police gonna start coming back for computers for their cars? I guess, so,
Well,
to your point, I know it's
again,
technology,
I
but
think,
for that
if you took a look
specific
at it, probably,
item.
I don't think the town budget really necessarily
Yeah.
has a lot of money in there for that
Yeah.
either.
The other point, again, is the bylaw, which says it's gonna
Yeah.
be $25,000.
No, I
But, and I,
get that.
And
true,
also
yeah.
have a 5-year shelf life,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And you're saying it's 4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of what's on here is, you know, it's the labs at the high school, you know, 14 years old. We actually did replace, you know, one on here we've already replaced, so kind of, it hasn't come off here yet, but I mean,
Well, we do a pretty good
Breaking it down,
technology
like
here, worked at
25.
a couple schools and.
Yeah, I mean, it's an
experience.
it's-
Marshfield does, at least we're still, I think
We're
we're
hanging in there.
I think we're doing better than quite a few
yeah,
other
yeah.
buildings.
Well, I mean,
that
it's
personally accept
been
into.
one of our,
Yeah.
you know, one of our highlight points. Mainly because, you know, Dave Cawthorn, he'd be willing to talk to you guys too if you want anything in deeper on this. He's our director of technology, and he came to us from Weymouth. Weymouth built their high school when he was there about 5 years before us. And when he came here, he was already saying, you know, we need a plan to replace this high school stuff because it's happening in Weymouth already. You know, you get all this influx of technology, it's awesome, it's great, but now everything, a lot of things in that building need to be replaced now. Because because they don't, technology aside, but even, you know, you're gonna see HVAC here, you're gonna, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff in that building that's starting to come due. And it's,
Yeah.
you know, there's
So
no,
do you have a long-range plan for replacement on this? I mean, I was at that town vote for the high school, and I remember all these
Yeah,
questions
well, it's-
from the
yeah.
floor. So, and I felt like the response is that we would have a long-term capital budget for replacement, so did that happen?
that's what's here, so,
And so we don't do any set-asides, we have a plan, but there's absolutely no set-asides
it's
for
like-
any capital expense in this town. 25,000 or 5 million. We do not do any long-range set-asides. Is that really kind of what I'm hearing?
That's the bylaw that we have, and the state recommends it a little bit different, which is a lot easier to use, which, I think it might be a 3-year shelf life and a less amount of money to go into it, and that's something the town needs to look at,
Yeah.
because the bylaw was written that way.
We spend a lot of money. I go to town meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I vote no a little bit more than probably most because there's a lot of money
PSS,
spent.
I love technology.
There's a lot of money here, just not always
Technology is,
spent.
next to history,
where people-
technology is my favorite second
Right.
subject,
People
so
have their
I
own
really do.
priorities in this town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
just like any
I
town.
think I'm
We-
just
People
asking from a
pick-
simple question perspective, because when your car is 5 years old, you know you're gonna have to be getting a new car, so you start setting money aside, so that you know, and it's clear to me that is
or you
not-
borrow again.
Or you keep a
So
car
what-
for 10
what-
years.
Exactly.
So I'm on the opposite
Right.
side of that,
Yeah.
where
Right.
you keep it a
The
little
other,
longer.
the other
But
side
at
of the
10
coin.
years, you'll have to buy a new car and you need to have cash.
The other side of the coin
So
is
that's-
every major project that was finished during the last 20 years or so, the money that was left over was never returned to the capital project fund.
Why is that?
So that money,
I-
if that was all there, that's
Right.
the money that we would be saving
is-
to use for future.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I
And
read
it
what you
is
wrote
a
about that.
little naive to think that people say, if you look at, I mean,
But
in
it's-
economy,
it's-
people don't, I mean, this
Yeah.
country's rampant for there's no savings. So, I mean, in reality, we're actually known not to save for
Yeah.
expenses.
But
They
even-
think the percentage
So
of people who even have a 3-month
'Cause there's always needs
emergency
across every
fund
department.
is so
That's the
minimal.
problem.
It's like, we could be in a lot of trouble, so,
Yeah.
it sounds good on paper, but in
So it's
my
kind of a
profession, I
day-to-day.
work for a financial planner, very, not that many people have that,
But,
So-
but even like a
never
rolling,
mind a municipality.
like a rolling, all right, I work for a CPA firm, and we have 45, 50 laptops that we know are gonna be replaced every 3 years, or stay on top of things. So we rotate through that, it's not like we go out and buy 40 in a year, we go out and buy 5, or we go out and buy 3, so there's no plan like that where you look at it and say, okay,
No.
we're gonna look at it overall in total and say,
Yeah.
all right, there's 15 of them, you know, there's 400 of them, and over the next 5 years, they're gonna be replaced, so that's 80 a year, as opposed to, it's 5 years, now we have to replace 400.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we have here, I mean, that's,
But it sounds like you're asking for everything, as opposed to,
no, I mean, it's, well, this has been,
The
this
way-
plan's been going on for a while. I
So
mean, it's not.
if you
it
look
just
at, if you look at the 5-year plan for technology that's in here right now, 616, 495, 625, 21, 2.2 million. Those numbers, the 495, they can change in an instant with
Oh, yeah.
technology. Something could be eliminated, something comes
Yeah.
out better,
Yeah.
you know, so it's really hard to predict.
But it's about $500,000 a year,
Yeah.
every year.
So you're getting $500,000 a year
For the
for
request is.
technology. You're requested, but it's not
Approximately,
funded.
yeah. And I would love, I mean, you know, and
Mhm.
if, you know, if we could go out and get the money tree and add $500,000 to our operational budget and start checking this stuff off out of our operational budget, that would be great. That just doesn't happen.
so the town would have to change the bylaw, to your point, to make it 3 years and a lesser amount, correct? So that would have to be brought to town meeting in
You
order
have
for
to
that
bring it up, yeah, that has to be written up, it's gotta be, it might be, which this is the hard part,
Yeah.
a charter change. when you hit that, that's like,
Yeah.
opens up
Oh,
a
yeah.
can of worms on everything.
Yep. I mean, I'm just trying to understand that, because, you know, looking at it from that point, like, okay, if there was a rolling change every single year, it seems like it would be easier to
Yeah.
accomplish that.
Mhm.
And obviously, the $25,000 in 5 years is a little stiff too.
I'm dying to get to the HVAC,
HVAC, yeah, that's always a big
Because
one
of-
too.
because I have a question on that.
Yeah, I mean, so
I'm dying to hear about the HVAC
Yeah.
myself.
these are
Since
the,
it wasn't working pretty early after we put this in.
I don't know, I mean, yeah, we've had the issue, I mean, it's a big building, and, you
Yeah.
know, we had to replace the AC unit
Yes.
very early on, and, yeah, it was, that wasn't the best, but these are really, for like data closets, so these aren't connected to the major unit. These are single units that are holding our, you know, security systems, our technology net servers
Yes.
throughout that building. So, the first one failed, and we had the tech out, took a look at it, and then he walked around, he's like, these are all gonna start failing. You know, we're 12 years in. So, and that's what that is, so that's, I mean, this isn't,
About doing it.
and the reason it's split out, you know, I was trying to knock down that, you know, the initial cost, because they're all not, obviously, they're all not gonna fail immediately at the same time. But we know they're all coming, so.
So why I was interested in this is I've been trying to reach Honeywell and Siemens for months. And the reason was for the school in particular and town hall. They have an AI program, okay, which they guarantee, they put everything in for you free. And they guarantee 25 to 30% savings on your energy. They take that money and they pay what you paid, what the cost was for the installation. After that, they don't take anything anymore. And I think somebody,
That's a little bit, it's a little bit similar to the train project that was done in town, probably 12 years ago.
yeah,
Really?
Now, where we had the controls updated on
yeah, I
a whole
know, I
bunch of
remember
buildings.
that happening.
Yeah,
This particular program though, you're probably dealing with either Honeywell or Siemens up there already.
Who's your vendor?
I'm
No,
just
it's-
wondering.
Is it in here?
yeah, it's in here.
Sorry, I can look too.
That may not be the system, but,
Keep seeing Trumco.
so my question is, if it was offered to us 5 years ago, did town hall, did we have town meeting turn it down? Or did we ever see it come into action at all?
Sorry, what's that, sir?
On the one that you were mentioning about 5 years ago, I forget the name of the company too, but, was it turned down? Did we ever bring it to town meeting to put in an HVAC system, monitoring system that'll save 25 to 30% of energy for us, for
I
all
don't
the
recall that
buildings?
going to town meeting, but, I mean, I'm not sure.
Well, I guess I thought you just said that it was from 4 or 5 years ago. Because that's what I'm trying to say is that we're using, either Siemens or Honeywell, we could be saving 25 to 30% energy levels based on an AI program. What it does is it senses how many people are in the room, when to shut it off, when to put it on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost the town anything. It's a win-win-win.
Anything's worth a shot, because obviously our utility bills are the same as everybody else's at home,
Yeah,
through the
So
roof.
I guess if we
It's killing us.
if we can ask the, school maintenance, you know, I can't think of his name, Scott, is his name Scott?
Fred.
Fred.
maintenance, Fred?
Yeah.
Fred, that's it, Fred
Yeah.
Russell. If we can get him involved.
Maybe he's aware of it already and just didn't know we needed information.
Yeah,
I
I
put
mean,
him on
it's,
cold copy on a letter a long time ago, and I didn't hear anything back.
Oh, okay.
But I think that it would be saving the town a hell of a lot of money if we can find somebody. I mean, I just reached out to him again last week. I have a person's name. I keep writing, they give me the phone number, they give me an email,
Yeah.
and they don't answer. They don't answer, it's crazy.
All right,
So this
So this-
HVAC is for tech closets, that's interesting. That
it's,
is-
it's,
So
it's,
this is for the, sort of your brains and your computers, because they do generate a lot of heat. So that, this is
Yeah.
not actually room, this is.
No,
for
it
your
isn't,
tech.
it isn't a building, this
Yeah,
is
that's a
for a
problem.
whole, you know, it's
right,
it's 29 units.
Okay,
For the individual spaces, and then
yeah.
that's, unfortunately, that's the going rate on these, so.
It is some classrooms though, right?
Yeah, well, those,
Right.
it does say classrooms, but I think those are, it's not specifically that, for that room.
It monitors those, like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the umbrella of the rooms that it's
Yeah.
monitoring. Yeah. Yeah.
anybody else have any
No,
questions on it?
no.
13 classrooms.
Information.
Next is the South River ADA project. This was, this was one of our, this is phase 2. We did receive funding, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And there's about 80,000 remaining in that project. We've still been doing minor things, ADA wise, but, that's potentially could roll back into something. But this is, this was addressing ADA at South River Elementary. We did put the new ramp in at the front. Came out very well done. Again, came in about less than $100,000, less than, around $80,000 less than was originally estimated. The second half of this project is it's our only building that has 3 floors, that doesn't have an elevator. And these plans are a few years old, so, we keep tweaking the percentage, increase there, but again, it's a large ask, so it's not on the, I'm sure it's not on the docket at this point, but,
Is there any grants or anything out there for something like that?
we talked, this, the ADA committee, there were a couple people still there, we were talking to them about something along those lines, but it's tough.
Kids are still getting, they're functioning throughout the day, like
Yeah, I mean, it's not- yeah,
class, it's not
yeah.
impeding anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
Accessing their
the building-
education at the moment.
yeah, I mean, the building's, that's a 1950,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so there are, there's, it came to light a few years ago with a student who, like, broke his leg or something along those lines, was in a wheelchair, and had to be wheeled all the way around the back of the school, come back around, go up here, go up there, and like, it was rough, and, we've had to move classrooms around for students there, and, but the front entrance is, that's got us, it makes it a lot better than it was
That's
previously,
awesome.
which is great,
So at
but,
least we know. Yeah.
it's just part of the,
Yeah.
we obviously had a whole study done, and, we kind of split it up into 2 phases just because of the dollar value. I think the ramp was in the 250, 300 range,
Yeah.
don't quote me on that, but it was a smaller ramp up, no pun intended. Then the second larger ask was the elevator, and their plans, it's not a full-blown elevator, it's more like a lift
Yeah.
for, because obviously an elevator would be a lot more expensive than, less than $1 million.
Well, this serves the same purpose.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's not like the elevator's gonna be used all, like, it's very, it would only be used occasionally either, so,
Yeah.
again, it's more of a lift.
I was just thinking we could swap the town hall for the Salt River, put the town hall down at Salt River. And put
Yeah,
that's all the money we spent on the elevator here.
there you go. I remember the whole saga with the elevator, that over there, that was interesting. So that's that, and we understand that's,
Yeah.
we have it in 27, but we weren't
Might be a
necessarily, we knew that wasn't on the docket, so. The next one are special education the passenger vans, those are the yellow vans you see around town.
How is that?
We're pushing 200,000 miles on a couple of them, maybe 3 of them. And, you know, they carry our neediest students, not only in town to the preschool, but also out of town too, to some of our closer neighboring out-of-district students. So we have 10 vans that are on the road daily. We have a few backup vans as well. Traditionally, we have leased these vehicles in our operational budget, but with the crunch, we only have one lease right now. And all the others are, you know, the vans are pushing 10 years, 12 years old. We have 3 2014s that are all getting close to 200,000. In 2015, it's close to 200,000.
So our contract with the bus company, because you're educating me here, does not include,
No, this is in-house. So, yeah, we contract with Todman for all our large yellow buses.
yeah.
These are
Is it a
special.
lot cheaper that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a million studies on whether large buses, whether it's better to outsource them or bring them in-house. The initial outlay to bring buses in-house would be, like, we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars, so,
You don't
that's not
wanna-
in the cards.
You don't wanna do that in Massachusetts right now, especially where they wanna go with the electric buses.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue too, yeah, so that's
Um,
on the horizon.
Does this 142 represent one van?
That is 2
Two?
vans,
That's
Two
two.
vans.
2, yeah, they're approximately $75,000.
Yep.
Oh, so it's 2 vans, it's not
It's
4,
75 each.
because I thought,
It's 2 over, it's 4 over 2 years.
27,
Yeah.
2 and 28
okay,
is what he's.
Yeah, and those are, you know, that would be, yeah, we have 3 2014s and 1 2015. Then we have two 2017s, 2 2018s, and then 2 2023s, which are the newer ones that are still on a lease. All the other ones are off lease. We typically lease these 3 to 5 years. And, you know, we just got in a crunch where there was actually one year where we had a lease payment of 0 before we got the 2023s. And, you know, I was bringing that lease number down to allow our operational budget to exist. And, you know, now we're in a little bit of a crunch. I mean, we're looking at, the other thing is, you can't even get these vans, so that's a whole other issue. We've been getting estimates and quotes and can't get a confirmed date on it, but, you know, we're gonna have to either we're either looking to borrow here. I mean, I know we're not borrowing now anymore, so, looking at capital, or we're gonna be pushing these out to kind of an unsafe place until we can, hopefully get our operational budget, back on track, so.
Well, one of the things about capital budget, when it comes to a vehicle like this at 75,000, let's just say what it is. And let's say they said to us that we had 800,000 to spend, that's our spending.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, it's 75 doesn't come off the 800, what comes off is the finance.
Yes,
So that's what,
yeah,
so
exactly.
this is actually an item that's gonna
And you know,
shock.
I brought this up over the years. I mean, like, you know, it's no secret the town buys the town gets their vehicles through capital, I think 100%. And, we've had this we've leased them on our own because we weren't getting them through capital, probably definitely at a more expensive rate than what the town would have been able to do for us. So, not the best, but we have to, they're a necessity, so.
Yeah.
And they're a necessity that, you know, they need
It's
to
unlike
be
the
safe.
It's unlike the 145,000 for the roof though, which that really needs to be done too.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
comes right off.
Yeah.
See, that comes right off.
Yeah.
So that'd be like 655. And, okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Any questions, Dean?
Nope,
Okay,
good.
The-
thank you, very informative.
Yep, and then the last item is, this is new, and this is more, I mean, I know there's a need to have, nice to have. I mean, if we don't do bathroom renovations, are we gonna be able to have school next year?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why it's last on the list, and it's a lot of money. But all our bathrooms are original in all our elementary schools. It's, all you need to do is take a little tour and take a look.
I laugh though, it's funny, my son's, I'm living with a third year college student, and across the board, I visited a lot of schools right when he was looking, and I went back to UMass Amherst where I went, and it looked like it was, I was with a few people, and they said, I think it's still the original bathroom, the original dorm from
It's kind of
the
the last,
70s.
you know.
It's a shame, but it seems.
I know, and that's so,
So
and this
big
really,
across the board.
this really came
Yeah.
from Pat.
Primary school,
This came from Pat, because
secondary,
like
college.
when he first came in last year, you know, we walked around the buildings
Yeah.
and,
You've
you know, our,
been
we,
taking them everywhere.
we do the best we can with our
Yeah.
buildings, interior wise,
Yeah.
for our students, and, you know, we've done a good job as much as possible trying to bring them into the 21st century. But when you walk around the building and then you walk into the bathroom and
Yeah.
you go instantly back to 1950.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, there'd be ADA work involved here, that's why the cost is probably,
Yeah.
the estimate came in as high as it did, so, you know, we're realistic on that front, knowing the capacity. of
I would
those
love
investments.
anti-locking doors would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I worked in elementary school and had to slide under the doors a couple times because of little games they played, so that would be a wonderful upgrade if we ever do get the money for this.
And there's also, I mean, we've picked away at some of it, you know, Governor Winslow is in great shape, but the governor went, like, the stalls were starting to fall apart. And, you know, and like with everything, you know,
We
just
had,
replacing like a couple stalls is, you know, you're talking big money.
Yeah.
Like,
when I
it's-
was young, I went to the Chapman School in East Boston, and for elementary school, the whole class could go to the bathroom at the same time. It was a wall with a trough.
Yep.
So, you guys are modern, Actually, I remember
That's
that,
Fenway Park.
I remember that at the old Boston Garden.
Yeah, the
Right.
garden,
It's-
everyone talks about it at the
Oh,
old
yeah.
garden.
But-
I hear them tell my son that, they're like, it was different back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
You didn't want anybody
But I went
standing
to,
behind you.
but you go to England and it's still like that everywhere.
Yes, I know.
Which is crazy.
I was in Ireland where Pat is now, and it's
That's
an
good.
entirely different
Yeah, I was
plumbing
shocked.
system.
You'd think, you know.
Yeah, oh, I get it though, but.
Yeah,
thank you
so
for
I mean,
being
so that,
prioritizing.
that's something new that, you know, we're hopeful we can do at some point, but, obviously it's a big number, and a big ask. There is, for that one, there was also, you know, this is before, you know, the financial realities came into play, but then looking at that, there was also a piece of that, which is the further kind of real study and a lot of the document work, that was 55,000, if you look into details. So that was one where that first year, knocking it down from that large $800,000 number to $55,000. So that's what we were trying to do, we were trying to bring everything, trying to look at everything as a whole and pulling everything together, and I forget where we ended up, it was, yeah, so, you know, when you looked at taking the Daniel Webster roof to 145, knocking down the bathrooms the first year to 55, you know, we got it to around 1.2 million, instead of 4.6, but obviously even you know, that was back before we started this whole process, and I thought maybe 1.2 would be a reality, but obviously it's not, so.
And do the schools have money coming back to capital? Have you just, did you-
Next,
is it next year it would come back?
No, they're.
What's that?
The share is being voted on next Monday.
No, the funds from
Oh, I
the
guess
school department, like, you know how there's excess capital funds, like we already found out.
They're going through it, they're going.
So
they're-
Yeah, we have, I mean, I
For,
I do have that, so we had a gymnasium floor project at Daniel Webster that we still have 115 left in that.
oh, wow.
So that's going to be returned. I mean, it would be nice, because I know, like,
You can
I don't know
roll
how
it.
you guys are gonna operate, but
That's
like,
like you-
we would
yeah.
love to, you know,
Roll
yeah, if it's from a.
Yours.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
so we try to actually,
Your pot stays in your pot.
you know,
It's
I like,
good to do.
we tried a little bit of, not
So
not,
you have
we weren't
100
deceiving anybody, but we were trying, we had to do, we were taking carpeting out of Daniel Webster and putting in flooring, tile flooring instead of the carpets. The carpets are a bad idea. And we were hopeful to try to use that 115 for that, and it didn't fly, so.
The 115 could be
Well,
applicable
it could be,
to,
that could be the Daniel Webster School,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
could be the 145.
There's 115 in that
that's from
gym
GWS.
floor project, and then there's like 80 something, I have it all here.
There you go.
There's 80 something in the South River Phase 1, and I think that's really, and then we have then there's an ongoing, there's a generator article that still has 400 something thousand in it, but we've been trying to get the generators and haven't been able to get them. And this is really Fred's article, so I don't, but it's a school article, but facilities has really been managing it, so there's a significant amount of money in there. Fred's been trying, because we could not get the real generators, because we don't have generators, and the generators don't power a whole building. It's mainly for emergency lighting and the kitchens and that type of stuff. They're way too expensive to power a whole building, but we don't have a generator at South River, Amesway, and Daniel Webster. So those 3 buildings, we were looking for generators. We had a generator failure in the last storm at Furnace Brook. It's a whole other issue.
And realistically, though, if we're at the point where we're relying on generator energy, we're not school's not in session.
See, yeah, and that's so.
if-
So what,
So
we've kind of pivoted on this,
be a little
so
move.
that article's still there. We were having trouble getting the actual generators that Governor Winslow Middle School, Martinson, and the high school have. Fred pivoted to an electrical upgrade to allow, if it was necessary, Eversource will bring in generators in a if we had a major emergency or whatever, we could still run school off of we
Run
almost
school
had
in the
it.
dark if it's sunny out.
We almost had it.
it.
We almost had it yesterday.
Yeah.
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 Martin said.
Yeah, Martinson didn't have
exactly,
power, but actually, I'm not even sure when it
The
get.
basement rooms
Like,
may go up to the
My
library.
phone rang at 6 a.m. and it was Martinson doesn't have power, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, we can't take another day off.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That's why I was
So-
like, when I
Find a
first
room
heard the
with a
announcement, I'm
window.
like, wait, is
So
there
we did
still
it.
a Zoom
Yeah.
time?
I know, you get a phone call, it's like, oh no.
Like, why are we getting this phone
I know.
call? I know this number.
So, but you're absolutely right, like if power's out in the whole town, we're not gonna have school, so
Yes.
it's
More an isolated event. If something
yeah,
happened
isolated
after
event,
school.
but I would say, it's kind of changed, it has changed over the years, I think. I think we used to look at, if the school had power and, half the town didn't have power, we'd still have school.
We'd still have school.
But-
Yeah.
So if
We're a little bit softer these days.
I agree.
So are you saying that the generator 400,000 was an article that passed through town meeting and that funding hasn't been expended?
Correct, yeah, correct.
So you could use that also.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
looking at that too.
Oh,
If we
great.
can
But
repurpose that.
if it's returned, you
Yeah.
can possibly use that for some other things
I
here.
actually remember that discussion at town meeting, and I do believe, and I still giggle about it, that someone got up and said, we need to go electric. And I think the entire crowd just had a little smirk, and we said, well, it may be great on pretty much any other article we're discussing, but not for generators.
I have to talk to.
Hence the need for the generator if we don't have power, so we won't be going electric on the generators.
Well, it was funny because,
Do you remember that, it was a couple years
So
ago,
the-
someone brought that up.
yeah, yesterday morning,
In the,
my
Town
first
discussion.
thought, when I hear Martinson doesn't have power is, what's the temp? Because, the power goes out, the heat
Right.
stops going.
we,
And it was fine in the whole building except for the kindergarten wing. Kindergarten wing dropped like a rock. It was it was 50 degrees. And, I tell Principal Gautreau, I'm like, because we had little portable heaters because we were having heating problems there. Just put the portable heaters over there. 15 minutes later that doesn't work because
yeah,
you can't
you
plug
gotta
it in.
plug them in,
There
exactly.
you go.
Well, you tell the kindergartners, we're pretending to have
Yeah.
a snow day inside, put your coat on and we'll have fun.
When did the power come back on for the school?
It came up right around start time.
Oh,
Start time,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
'cause you're
so
gonna
it was all good.
maybe start a little bit later for that one school, right?
We
Was the original plan,
talked about
maybe?
it a bit, like
Yeah.
quickly, it would have been kind of logistically.
One
Right.
good thing about teachers is most of the information's in their mind, they can.
But we've run
hopefully
school, I
they
mean,
can-
we
They can
we
wing
ran-
it.
we ran a whole day, a school at Ames Way without
Yeah.
power, a couple years ago.
That's how we
You know,
do
it's,
it, right?
it's a little darker,
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
probably loved it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, it's
No-
an exciting
no-
day.
no
especially for
computers.
little.
They'll remember that probably down the road more
Yeah.
than the other days.
Yeah,
It's like camping.
right.
But I will get you those figures on what we still have remaining. I mean, I gave them to Meg too, so, Meg's aware, and, you know,
So 400 for
you know,
the
that's
others,
the
plus
thing about those
200,
articles, I
600,000.
completely agree with you, that it, like, as soon as it gets to a point where, you know, a lot of times we'll do a project and then there's like a little bit of remaining things that need to be done associated with that project, and that's what, it just kind of, you know, takes bits and pieces off of it, but, you know, that money's been sitting there, and obviously there's greater needs right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, your
That's awesome to know there
technology.
may be
Yeah.
600,000 that could be allocated to the
Yeah, and I'll,
emergency items.
I'll share.
One great
I have my
example
spreadsheet
of
right here.
what happened was, I talked to Carol Hamilton on the senior center, because they were wanting to put a garage in, and she pulled the article, realizing that the town, you know, 3-car garage we don't need right now at the senior center. But she was also telling me at the same time that there was $900,000 left in her when they did the senior center, and it was appropriated illegally, in my opinion, because it was supposed to go back to the project fund to upgrade town hall.
Yeah.
So, and then there was a couple of others of those
Yeah.
down there. That 900,000 could have been helped.
Yeah, I never knew about that article, but like, my thought was always, if you're borrowing a significant amount of money for a project, it comes in under budget, we borrowed that money, just take that money and pay down the debt and move on. And now
It's
you're
like
paying.
my son said
That's
he
the way it
needed
should have been
a coat,
done, and we wouldn't be in the
I
$4 million
200,
hole,
and he
right?
wanted a coat for 100, I want my 100 back.
Right.
I'm not
Is that-
giving him a tip. Like I said, my son said I need a new coat, and I said, here's 200, try to find
Yeah.
something good, finds a great $100 coat.
Yeah.
I want the
You want your
100
100
back.
Right.
He's not going out to dinner with his
Yeah.
friends on the extra 100. Right, Dean? You got 3 boys. You want change.
I would
Yeah,
never
so-
see a penny on
I
it.
know, Dean
Yeah,
won't give you.
115,000 Daniel Webster gym floor.
Yep.
There's 470 school generator and electrical work. Now, I need to make sure, I got Fred question marks, I gotta make sure what's going, because I know he's been trying to get the electrical upgraded. Because we can't, those plug-in generators will not work on our current electrical systems, so there's a little bit of work to be done there, but I think a good amount of that money could be returned. And then there's 71,000 left in the ADA article for South River, so,
Wow.
And what article?
The South
ADA.
River one, the South River,
yeah.
phase 1.
That article was originally, that was only a $168,000 article. It was estimated to be 168,000, and we only spent 100.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And the same with the gym floor, it was at 290,000, and we spent 175. That came in way less than
Awesome.
what was originally estimated, so.
It is kind of, I'm glad this is becoming more commonplace to discuss this, and everyone has a clearer view of how
Yeah.
much we actually have.
Yeah.
And then when everyone comes to the meeting, it's
Yeah,
I think it's a little more fair, and then,
Chief Tavares told
Yeah,
us he had
yeah.
money left.
I think it's
Yeah.
great. And
Remember?
then things
I
can
mean,
be
I know.
addressed,
It's in
preventative,
the minutes.
which is what everyone's trying to do. Like for everything, fire, for the seawall, for dredging, for the schools, get it before it's an emergency.
Well, Tom, I appreciate everything you do for the town.
That's great.
No, thank you very much.
Anybody else have any
It's,
questions?
yeah, it's been it's
Yeah,
been rough.
interesting year.
It's been rough, and it's still gonna be rough for a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the good news, like, and I think the plan here, and this is something I need to address with Meg and whoever is maybe the future town administrator, is we didn't borrow, we were allocated just about $1 million for the feasibility and design for Martinson. And it's still ongoing, and we still have a couple, like, I think 2 more bills left, but there's gonna be a significant amount left there too. I mean, we're gonna have spent maybe half of that.
Oh, wow.
But I think the original plan on that front though is
Put it
if there's
towards
500,000 remaining in that was going to be, because this eventually gets pulled into the full
The
project.
full project.
That was
Yeah,
just
'cause
that-
that's how, isn't
yeah.
that how they do all the studies? And when
Yeah.
we-
So I think that is going to stay
but you know
internally
more.
with that whole
Yeah.
project, so we just spend less money as a town and
And then it comes back a little later,
Yeah.
after the final bill
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
finalized.
Eventually, when that project completely closes out, there's gonna be, there
What
should be,
project was that?
there should be a
So
decent
like
amount
he's
of money
saying,
there.
he said with the
What
study, with the roof, there
For
might be,
Martinson.
for Martinson, they were allocated $1 million,
Yeah.
it might only be 500,000, but that 500,000 will still be part of that larger
The 600,
project
yeah,
under that
Yeah.
So the
umbrella.
town will pay less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pay less,
Yeah.
and when, after the project's completed,
and we're getting
is when the
we're getting
money comes
50%
back to the
reimbursement
capital
on that
budget.
too, so
But you
in
don't.
the
want
end,
that.
so in the end, the town is going, it's gonna cost about 3 million, and, you know, we've already paid about 500 of that, 500,000 of that, and we still have another 5, so in theory, we should only have to reallocate, borrow another 2 million off of that, so in the end, it's going to be a lot less than originally anticipated, so. But I think that all stays within that project. But, I mean, I know the
Yeah, yeah.
borrowing was 7.4
Yeah.
authorized, so,
Yeah, it's a
we obviously don't borrow 7.4, we're
Yeah.
gonna borrow.
bond, this
a portion.
project's a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
It's amazing
So
somebody
much
comes in
information,
less.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
love
so
it
much.
going, Yeah.
Thank you.
The next one on our agenda is, review applicants for capital budget
Yeah, you're
board.
behind me, you were.
I got a call from, well, I got an email from,
You want me to turn Dean around so he can hear you? Can you
Once
say bye to
You don't
Tom?
need to say anything.
We'll take Dean with us now.
You said, hey, can you hear me now?
We make it interesting here.
Anyways,
in our meetings.
Shears, Fader,
Sure,
Yep.
yep, spot, yep.
they are going to vote on it next week.
Oh, okay,
'Cause I-
Great.
I told her that, you know, she passed everything as far as
awesome,
background checks and all that good stuff,
great.
so.
So we'll know
that's-
next week.
That'll be, yeah, it'll be next week. I'll be writing up our next meeting, as we know, we scheduled it for March 28th.
March,
We did that ahead of time.
is
We
that
did
in
it
2
quick.
weeks?
I think it is. Yeah, because you were going somewhere, or somebody was going somewhere.
Someone might have been, I'm here all month,
I
but,
think you were at a wedding or something, no?
no, I'm good
Okay.
March,
Okay.
might have been someone
I
else.
think it's March 28th, I think it's the 28th,
I'm
but it's
free
not,
on the
no.
20th.
Today is the 18th, so.
Yep, another 10 days, that's,
No.
no, that wouldn't be right, because it'd be, hold on, I'm gonna get my calendar. Calendar app. So March 28th is a Saturday, so I
So
will
it's
not be
definitely
here.
not.
Sorry.
Definitely not a Saturday.
Any questions, let me know.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
March 25th.
25th
So
makes
that's
sense,
week.
next week, next Wednesday.
Okay.
But I haven't put up anything on it yet, so I will do that tomorrow.
Okay,
And it'll be in this room, so Patty already got the room in advance.
okay,
And that's that.
awesome.
Any other questions
Oh, I have
from,
my app open, I should put it on there.
So when's the next meeting, Jack?
Next Wednesday, Dean.
March 25th.
next Wednesday? And hopefully,
Are you
hopefully,
at work?
hopefully we'll be able to know a number next Wednesday. We may not, but we gotta get, the warrant closes like in a few days later, so I think next Wednesday, we're gonna have to not only
We have to vote on it?
have, I don't think conservation's coming, but I'm not sure yet, they may be here. Carol pulled hers, so they're the only ones I think that we had left to see, but I'll go
Was
through
the-
everything.
The garage.
I think that was it.
No, they have more than just the senior center, the senior.
Yeah, she's pulling that, she sent me an email, she sent it to
The
the town,
conservation had just
so. Conservation,
only of the two
She also
items.
had,
they don't
The
qualify, I
trees,
told them.
yeah, didn't qualify for the land management.
I told them that, I sent them an email back today.
In the trees, cause it's per
Was-
tree, like, yeah.
Yeah. it's
were they
just-
also pulling the 14 passenger van as well
Who's that?
for the council on aging? They also had that besides the 3 big
Okay,
garage.
this one,
Both?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have it, we gotta get,
yeah, for now.
we gotta
I think I'll
prioritize the
reread,
departments. I
that
think.
email, but, okay, so. we
Okay.
get revenue minutes from prior meetings, nothing in that. The only thing I've been chasing is that HVAC system.
That's great,
I'm telling you, it'll save the town, it'll do town hall, it'll do with every
maybe
municipal
he'll
building.
look Fred in, yeah.
So, I'm gonna keep chasing it. And other than that, it is that looks wrong. It is 8:33, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You guys state your names, please.
Bonnie McCarthy,
Makes a motion to.
make a motion to adjourn.
Dean Scrivener, I second it.
Dean second.
All in favor? Jack Griffin, yes.
Bonnie McCarthy, yes.
Linda Walsh, yes.
Dean?
Yes.
You're gonna say your name, roll call.
Dean Scrivener, yes.
There
All
we
right,
go.
Thank you.
And,
Okay.
and that's a wrap.
That's a wrap, yeah. It's a good wrap, so, he
Oop,
disappeared
he
in a
just,
hurry.
he cut off that quick.
He